Do you suffer with knee pain due to arthritis? Do you have Medicare or private insurance? Then the Arthritis and Knee Pain Center of Lexington has great news for you.
We're specialists in the treatment of knee and joint pain with state-of-the-art, non-surgical treatments designed to replace the cushioning in your joints.
It hurt real bad walking around and trying to do things.
But after you get it, you feel a little bit more confident and you don't have the pain.
These aren't traditional joint injections. They are precisely targeted, FDA-approved treatments that place a pain-relieving, lubricating gel directly into the joint, providing comfort, pain relief, and improved joint mobility. Even better, Medicare and most major private insurance cover this procedure.
It's enabled me to go years without knee replacement.
Call now to schedule your risk-free screening. There's no obligation. Get the pain relief you deserve now.
Call 1-833-278-1574 or visit arthritis-kneepain.com.
The best part about being a bath fitter installer is the reveal. Homeowners greet us in the morning and love that we're going to install a beautiful new tub right over their old one without tearing the bathroom apart. But they're never quite prepared for what they get come the end of the day. We call it the wow moment. When they see their new bathtub that's high quality and more beautiful than they could have imagined, I can't help but smile. Since it's Bath Fitter, it's built to last a lifetime. We guarantee it.
Our Splash in a Savings event is going on now. Call now and save up to $500. Plus, get a free upgrade package.
Schitt's Creek, coming this fall to the CW Lexington.
Right now at 7 on Breaking Down the News, Governor Beshear says his office will not be issuing any more guidance on opening schools. We'll take a look at the new system for making decisions moving forward. The University of Kentucky continues its fight against COVID-19. We'll hear live tonight from one of the members of its health corps working to fight the spread of the virus and keep the students safe. And the Breeders' Cup will go on, but no fans. We will hear live tonight from the president of Visit Lex about this latest blow to the city's tourism business. Breaking Down the News starts right now. Good evening and welcome to The Breakdown. I'm Sam Dick. Thanks for joining us as we begin this new chapter here on the CW Lexington. We'll be going in depth on some of the biggest stories of the day to give you what you need to know about the stories you'll be talking about tomorrow. So, for example, Dr. Deborah Birx visited UK today, praised UK for its handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. The university has a team of people working to stop the spread of COVID-19. And just a few minutes from now, we'll be talking to one of the members of that group about its efforts to keep students healthy. But hey, it's a beautiful night out there, and my buddy, Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey's along for the ride. Chris, welcome to the debut show.
Yeah, good to be here, my man. And you know what? We're christening this brand new adventure for us on a beautiful weather note, as you mentioned, right?
Awesome.
Yeah, fantastic weather, and this is coming on the heels of what was that just soaker of a weekend. Right now, live looking at downtown Lexington, 72 degrees, winds out of the northeast at 8. That's a dry wind. That's a cool wind with those numbers that will continue to drop all evening long. Pleasant high pressure on top of the Great Lakes. So by the time tomorrow morning rolls around, some of us may need a sweatshirt or a light jacket. A few upper 40s are likely to show up. Now let's go to the Gulf of Mexico. This is Hurricane Sally. Sally's the headline maker. This is up to a Category 2, wind sustained at 100 miles per hour. There's the opportunity for this to continue to strengthen and become a high-end Category 2 or even low-end Cat 3 major hurricane. Doesn't have to get much stronger. It has to get winds to 115. Right now, the forecast takes us to 110 miles an hour. In terms of the overall movement, we're talking about this heading toward now, away from Louisiana and then toward Biloxi or Mobile, Alabama. And the track on this may put Mobile Bay there right on in the line of fire for a big-time storm surge. Sam, that's something we'll keep an eye on, and we'll show you how that may or may not impact the weather here in Kentucky.
Thank you, Chris. We begin tonight with COVID-19 and the answer to a lot of questions out there on the minds of many, many parents. When are students going to go back to in-person learning? Inside brick-and-mortar classrooms, well, should be September 28th, right? That's when the governor's recommendation to delay in-person learning expires. What happens then? Well, the governor said today, late this afternoon, that won't be up to him.
So let me be clear that there is not going to be an overall recommendation coming from me or my office post-September 28th. What's going to be provided is the information to make a week-by-week decision in our various school districts and counties based on prevalence and what public health and experts believe is the right course based on that prevalence. This was information that was requested. This is the type of information we were told is needed. It's taken us time to put it together.
So what the governor's saying there, he's giving the power of what they do. Each school district will have control over what they do with their schools. WKYT's Nick Oliver covered that briefing today. He explains how districts will make those decisions as we go forward.
Sam, good evening to you. Of course, a lot of this is going to be based off those metrics that we heard the governor talk about. And of course, that's going to give more local decisions back to local leaders, which is what many have called for. Now, first, there is a lot to digest with this. Let's get started. Parents must report positive cases in their students to the schools within 24 hours of those results. That's a big way how they're going to track this, Sam. Now, from there, decisions will be left to local leaders. We know that many communities have been calling for this for some time, even before that first recommendation for the governor. Now, that includes a statewide positivity rate below 6%, and hospital resources must be abundant. That's a big one that the governor did emphasize today. But the big question is, how will you know at home if it's safe to send your child? Now, a county map will be color-coded, showing this. Green and yellow is largely safe to have kids in school. Orange means districts should consider online learning. And red, districts should go ahead and make that switch to online learning. Now, of course, this is a continuing process, Sam, and something that the state does say that they're going to have to keep working towards, keep working to refine it. But this is the basis of how students will be back in the classroom. Sam, back to you.
Nick, thank you. Now, the University of Kentucky has reported more than 1,200 cases of COVID-19 on campus. About 400 of those cases are currently active. Many of those cases were found through the university's testing plan to start the semester. Dr. Deborah Birx from the White House Coronavirus Task Force has complimented UK's plan. Chelsea Jones was at a roundtable discussion with Dr. Birx and UK leaders.
Dr. Deborah Birx is praising the University of Kentucky for its COVID-19 response plan.
Seeing what they've done to really not only ensure that students are tested, but ensuring that students are contact traced.
A member of the White House Coronavirus Task Force, Birx has been traveling to universities holding in-person classes, gathering information on what they're doing to keep students safe. Over the weekend, Lexington saw 200 new coronavirus cases. About half of those cases were in UK students. Governor Andy Beshear and local health officials have raised concerns about the numbers on campus, but Birx feels the university has the situation under control.
When the president shut down the country, I think that was a signal to all of us that this was serious.
Her response to the news of President Donald Trump downplaying the virus to keep Americans from panicking.
Do you think a message like that is helpful during the pandemic?
Well, I have to tell you, I didn't come to the White House until March, and I am not going to second guess what the president has done or not done.
Trump's rival, former Vice President Joe Biden, has condemned Trump's comments. As far as the number of COVID-19 cases in Kentucky, Birx says the state has improved since her visit in July. In Lexington, Chelsea Jones, WKYT.
So as of today, the Fayette County Health Department says 20% of all the COVID-19 cases in Lexington have been in UK students, with more than 1,400 total since the start of the pandemic. Chelsea, you asked Dr. Birx what UK should do if cases continue to increase. What'd she say?
Well, Sam, when I asked Dr. Deborah Birx at what point should the University of Kentucky stop in-person classes if the number of COVID-19 cases continue to rise on campus, she did not give a specific number, but said as long as the university has the ability to identify and isolate those students who have tested positive, as well as quarantine those students who they may have come in contact with, she thinks the university will be okay. She also talked about seeing students wearing masks on campus and noted that she thinks a lot of the COVID-19 cases are due to off-campus activity. She was impressed with UK's Wellness Health Corps and its response to COVID-19, as well as the university's efforts to continue to track those COVID-19 cases by testing the wastewater. And overall, Sam, she says Kentucky is in a better place than when she visited here a few weeks ago and thinks the state is moving in the right direction.
Chelsea, thank you. UK has made a big effort to curb the spread of COVID-19 on campus. As the school year began, that meant testing everyone, students and staff who would be on campus. We're joined now live by Dr. Lance Poston. He's with the UK Health Corps, working to keep people on campus healthy. Doctor, welcome, and thank you for joining us on The Breakdown.
Thank you, Sam. Happy to be here.
Let's talk about contact tracing. How is that going so far? It's got to be a challenge.
Well, it certainly is quite the task, and I think as a university we are up to it. It's a process that takes place. It's facilitated by a large team of contact tracers and caseworkers who we brought on to staff specifically to manage these cases. When a student tests positive, they come onto the radar of UK Health Corps, and from there we begin that notification and contact tracing process. That's a key part of making sure that our campus remains as safe as possible.
I'm interested in what you're doing to reach the students who want to be social, and there's got to be plenty of those because that's what college is about, to ensure they don't spread the virus.
Yeah, I think we are committed as an institution to a distinctive residential experience this fall, and that means making sure that there are components of college life that are in campus that are essential ways that students are connecting with one another in person. We've got faculty and staff in that mix, driving forward the core teaching and learning mission of the institution, and I think the ways that we're reaching out to students include proactive messaging and marketing, making sure that you're getting your daily 4.0, that you're wearing a mask, you're socially distancing, you are sanitizing and washing your hands on a regular basis, and you are also completing your daily screener through the university. So as a part of that daily screener, we're hoping to permeate and I think have successfully permeated across many facets of our campus that, you're a key part of making sure that our doors stay open, that you and your classmates and your peers are safe and stay healthy. So that messaging, again, is a key way that we're reaching those students who are on campus.
Our viewers may not realize it, but students can be disciplined if they're not following guidelines. How has that worked so far?
Certainly. So the university's health corps, primarily proactively communicates to students to make sure they know the expectations. Those messages are coming from many different directions. However, when we find that a student isn't taking those necessary precautions, we do work closely with our Office of the Dean of Students and our Student Conduct Office to raise that to a different level, to remind those students that's important practice and behavior, not only for themselves, but for our broader community. And ultimately, there are repercussions for not being that good university citizen.
Dr. Lance Poston, thank you for joining us on this inaugural debut of the Breakdown and an important issue, UK and the safety of the students, but also the staff. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
And remember, we have a breakdown of cases and positivity rates on all of Kentucky's colleges and university campuses. That's right now on WKYT.com, so you can check that out. You can also find it inside the WKYT News app.
Good evening to you. I'm Amber Philpott with tonight's Evening Rush. School leaders in Fayette County are meeting and expected to talk about when students might return to in-person classes. Outside the meeting, some students and parents protested. People with the Let Them Learn group say they should have the right to choose if their children return to the classroom. Another group called We Support Fayette County Public Schools feels it's still not safe to return to the classroom.
I'm Grace Meinerman, and I'm in Casey County, where yesterday's flooding made some roads impassable, but the water also affected some businesses. One of the businesses hit hard due to Sunday's flooding is Village Restaurant off of US 127. Owner Donna Rigney says between 3 to 3.5 inches of water was in the building. She's had to deal with this before. Back in May of 2010, Rigney shares there was 6 inches of water inside. In 2015, 2.5 inches. But a silver lining, the community dropped everything to help out.
Fans will not be able to watch the Breeders' Cup in person this year. Race leaders collaborate with Governor Andy Beshear and health officials to make that decision. Only essential workers will be allowed on the grounds. Keeneland is offering full refunds to all 2020 ticket holders. The Cup comes back to Keeneland, though, in 2022. This year's ticket holders will be first in line to buy similar tickets for the 2022 Breeders' Cup. And a new Lexington mural is celebrating inclusiveness. It's just east of Broadway on Short Street in downtown Lexington. It shows that Lexington stands with the Black Lives Matter movement. The mural was painted by Sierra Leroy. It was sponsored and fully funded by Lex Park, and that's a look tonight at your Evening Rush.
Amber, thank you. We're a little more than 7 weeks away. Can you believe it, from the election? Next on The Breakdown, we talk live with UK political science professor Dr. Stephen Voss about what we could see as we approach November.
Play the Kentucky Lottery's Gold Rush Scratch-Offs with more than $217 million in total prize money.
Keep going. Oh.
Your Eureka moment just might be a scratch or two away.
Before you're getting up, we're getting the facts. Before you're getting dressed, we're getting it right. Before you're ready to move on with today, we're getting you ready to stand up to your morning.
I heard you were in an accident. I'm with the insurance of the driver who hit you. I want to make sure that you're fully paid for the little ding, although most of this looks pre-existing. You really don't need to bring any lawyers into this. All I need is a X. Perfect.
The insurance companies admit themselves that people who hire a lawyer recover 3 times more money. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Tonight,
those lashes are too big.
Are they too big? Catch the improv insanity.
Famous last words.
Is that a meteor? Whose line is it anyway? Tonight at 8/7 Central, only on the CW.
Advance your nursing career at Frontier Nursing University. Our distance education program allows you to complete coursework and a clinical experience in your own community to become a nurse midwife or nurse practitioner. Visit frontier.edu today.
WKYT First Alert Weather is brought to you by Family Allergy and Asthma.
The A in Chick-fil-A is for A-game. My least favorite word is just. If ever you hear the word just, whatever comes behind it is not going to be somebody's A-game. And you never hear that at Chick-fil-A. It's in our DNA to do everything as best we can.
To me, the A in Chick-fil-A stands for a higher standard for yourself in your store. And it's really natural to me to try and make connections with customers that are deeper than just, hi, how are you? Like, how's your family or how are your kids too? That really makes their day.
This war between you needs to end.
I'm not the enemy. Make sure some information goes viral.
What kind of information?
Devils, the CW series premiere, Wednesday, October 7th.
Stay ahead of Kentucky weather on Facebook Live every weekday. Alerting you first is how we stand for Kentucky. Brought to you by Fayette Heating and Air. When news breaks, Kentucky turns to WKYT.
You know, given coronavirus, it's hard to know with certainty that anything is going to happen like it should or might. I'll tell you this election in November will be unlike anything we have ever witnessed. Now, each Monday here, we will feature an election expert to go deeper into the issues voters will face this year. And joining us live now is Dr. Stephen Voss, Associate Professor in the Department of Political Science at the University of Kentucky. And Steve, welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Good evening, Sam. Thanks for having me.
Our viewers may not know because this happened later in the day, but I want to get your reaction to it real quickly. The Fayette County clerk situation with the elections department temporarily shutting down because of a COVID case in the clerk's office there. The clerk, Don Blevins, says this could delay at least a day or two of mailing out absentee ballots. You hope these kind of glitches don't happen, but hey, this is coronavirus and a pandemic, right?
That's right. And, you know, last primary, one of the great successes in Kentucky was how well the clerks in this state got ballots to people. There were major problems in other states. So it's unfortunate to see this obstacle thrown up into one of the things that we did so well last time.
We know that many voters are going to be casting their votes early this year. What do we know about early voting and how that affects an election like this?
In general, early voting is the most disappointing of all election reforms. It was supposed to make voting easier and therefore increase voter participation, but it doesn't work that way at all. It's used by people who would have voted anyway, people who tend to be wealthier, more educated, politically active. It doesn't help with the people who usually are shut out by elections. If anything, it runs them off. Because when election day rolls around, instead of them getting caught up in that excitement and voting when they otherwise would not have done, they just aren't motivated and they stay home. And the reform backfires. Early voting in general causes less voter participation than we otherwise might have seen. I don't think I'd expect the same thing with early voting this time around, though. The complications caused by the pandemic, the fears people have with standing in lines and being in packed rooms, probably early voting in this sort of case is just a good development.
This is a campaign, at least from a presidential campaign standpoint, that's being waged online like never before. Talk about that and that impact.
On balance, I don't think having the campaign fought out online will make much difference. It helps some candidates, the candidates who tended to have a more mental, cerebral, cool approach to campaigning. It hinders other candidates who might have been more of a kissing babies, shaking hands, whipping up rallies sort of candidate, a hot candidate. But on balance, a lot of people are just switching where they get their political information, their political news online, a trend that has been going on for some time anyway.
A poll by one network in July showed that 85% of people were extremely or very motivated to vote. Do you agree and think that'll happen? That's a lot of people.
We have a lot of motivation. I don't think it will get up to those numbers. People usually inflate their interest, but we are seeing a real increase in voter interest, yes.
Well, Dr. Stephen Voss, I'm sorry we got to cut you short. We're going to have you back in the next couple of weeks, but it will be a historic election, right?
It's one way or the other. It's guaranteed.
Yeah, guaranteed. Thank you, Dr. Stephen Voss, Associate Professor from UK. Thank you, sir.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Well, it's a Monday, but it's a really nice-looking day, if that means anything to you out there. Coming off of a waterlogged weekend when some of us picked up better than 5 inches of rain. We had flooding issues, major flooding issues. That's not the case right now. Live look into downtown Lexington with partly cloudy sky. And some of the haze you've been seeing today is actually smoke coming all across the country and into our part of the world from those western fires. It's just absolutely amazing what's going on out there, not in a good way. 72 current temperature, winds out of the northeast at around 8 miles an hour. That northeast wind already knocking temperatures into the upper 60s. So we're not worried about what's coming in from the west over the next few days. We are worried about the winds from the northeast, and this is a cool wind. 57 in Cleveland into the upper 60s across Pittsburgh and sections of Columbus. That pleasant high pressure right on top of the Ohio Valley, and that's going to keep our skies mainly dry for the next several days. Now, you get into Wednesday and Thursday, the smallest opportunity for a shower or a thunderstorm. This cold front is going to get in here on Thursday, and that will come from the northwest, and it's going to push Sally to our south. Hour-by-hour forecast for out this evening. You know, it's a nice one. Early tomorrow morning, I think we've got some areas that will be into the upper 40s. Good looking afternoon with mid-70s coming up tomorrow. We go into the day on Wednesday. We'll start things out with an isolated shower or thunderstorm opportunity early afternoon into the peak of the afternoon. Best opportunity for that may be across the south. That would begin to dissipate. Now, some of the clouds on Thursday would be associated with Hurricane Sally, or what is left of it. Now, here comes a cold front from northwest to southeast. Look at 5 o'clock on Thursday behind this. 64 Covington ahead of it, 79. Let's talk Sally for a moment. 100-mile-per-hour storm. It's Category 2. And the outflow over top of this is really looking good right now. So this has been in a strengthening mode for the past several hours. This right now is forecast as a 110-mile-per-hour hurricane coming inland as you get into sometime tomorrow. So it's a slow mover between Biloxi and Mobile into Alabama. Now, is that going to impact our weather? Right now, odds favor that deep moisture staying to our south. Sam, that's because that cold front gets in here as we go into Thursday. Look at the numbers behind that. We may not get out of the upper 60s for highs as you go into Friday and Saturday.
I love it.
And that looks dry, too, for the weekend.
I love it. All right, you know me. I'm already looking forward to the weekend.
Same here.
All right, thanks, Chris.
You bet.
Well, get this. It looks like a Kentucky football player. There's been a lot of news about this fellow the last few months. He could be eligible, according to the NCAA, Dave Baker, the Buzz, will tell us what the next roadblock is, though, next.
You wanted it. Now you've got it. You waited for it. So come and get it. The Labor Day sales event is on now at P-Rats, home of the top brands, America's top mattress brands, plus Nectar. Try it before you buy it and take it home today. Plus, get a free power base upgrade on any $4.99 or more Queen mattress set purchase. Get a king set for the Queen price, or Queen for twin on over 15 sets. Because
nobody beats P-Rats.
There is one asset the government has allowed you to retain.
The kids. What's this about?
Just hugging my kids.
Why?
Schitt's Creek, coming this fall to the CW Lexington.
I'm Amy McGrath, and I approve this message. It was 9/11. The White House was deciding whether to shoot down a hijacked airliner. I was in an F-18, waiting at the end of a runway, in case that horrific order came. I'm Amy McGrath. Now Mitch McConnell is attacking me over 9/11? I swore an oath to protect our country. Mitch McConnell got out of military service, and he's done nothing but sell us out ever since.
If you're eligible for Medicare, you can get more with a WellCare Medicare Advantage plan. We provide more than original Medicare. More plans, more options, more choices of doctors and hospitals. All at an affordable price. We offer plans with zero or low premiums and copays. Get more coverage with extra benefits like dental, vision, hearing, prescription drugs with free home delivery, plus free transportation to your doctor or pharmacy, and free over-the-counter items like vitamins, toothpaste, pain relievers, and much more. Plus, WellCare also gives more access to a large network of pharmacies and doctors. For more than 30 years, we focused on connecting members to the care and support you deserve. Get more from Medicare with WellCare. Call now. We can answer your questions and help you enroll over the phone. Call 1-866-561-9677.
An HVAC system is a big investment. That's why Comfort Heating and Air offers free second opinions with the highest rated service in town. If you need a new system, get our 12-year no-hassle replacement warranty with payments as low as $89 a month. Call the Comfort Man.
I'm on my way.
Watch WKYT on all your streaming devices.
Dave Baker joins us now. Dave, for people who have been following UK football even a little bit the last few months, there's one player in particular who hasn't played a snap yet, but people are fascinated with this guy and can't wait to see what he can do. The question is, will he be eligible?
Well, that's a great point. I was at an event over in Winchester today, and I got asked about Olivier Sarr and Joey Gatewood. And this is the kind of thing we're going to be talking about all year, Sam. This is the an interesting development in the eligibility case, the Auburn transfer, now Kentucky quarterback Gatewood. Rivals reporter Travis Graff says Gatewood has likely been ruled eligible by the NCAA, but the hang-up is with the SEC. Now, here's what's going on. Graff went on to say there is a gentleman's agreement in place with Auburn that Gatewood will not play against his former team in the season opener, September 26th, as a show of appreciation with Auburn's cooperation for the waiver request. Well, everybody can get a waiver request now, right? When coaches change teams, they don't sit. Here's what I'm wondering. I mean, I'm sure that Gatewood as a quarterback knows Auburn signals better than anybody. Well, whether he plays or not, is he still going to be able to be there? What kind of info has he already given to UK coaches? It'll be interesting to see how this one goes. Okay, speaking of Kentucky, they've released numbers today about COVID testing done on athletes and staff members between August 20th, September 2nd. 402 student athletes were PCR tested. It's called polymerase change. What it is, it's like they take that pipe cleaner and put it down your nose and down the back of your throat and keep it there for 15 seconds. But that's the most accurate test. 34 student athletes, there were only 14 PCR positives. 34 student athletes that got back onto campus were antibody tested during the process, with one positive for past infection. 306 staff members PCR tested. 7 were PCR positive. So any way you look at it, Sam, I think the UK folks are doing a good job with this. All right, Joe Burrow's era began in Cincinnati yesterday. Number 1 pick, all kinds of excitement. Couldn't change that team's luck just yet. Burrow, 23 of 36 passing, 193 yards, 1 rushing touchdown, 1 interception, and he put the team in position to tie the game in the final seconds of the fourth quarter. Didn't happen, though. Burrow, though, put all the blame on himself, giving himself a grade of D.
You know, we weren't playing very well on offense, but we started to get a little rhythm there in the 2-minute drill. And, you know, I felt like we were going to go down and win the game. And if we didn't win, we were going to score some points and go into overtime. But, you know, things didn't fall our way. Like I said, we just made too many mistakes.
Folks wondering about college basketball. The College Basketball Oversight Committee apparently has proposed starting the season on November the 21st. That is according to Jeff Goodman. He says the Division I Council is expected to vote on that date Wednesday. The council also has proposed allowing coaches 8 hours per week of on-court instruction beginning on September 21st. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. A lot of talk about some stuff going on with John Wall. Sam will get in depth about that tomorrow, coming up at the same time.
Dave, thank you. All right. Guess what? Yeah, you're right. No fans in the stands for this year's Breeders' Cup. We probably didn't expect there would be. Next, we'll talk with the president of Visit Lex about what this means for tourism in the city and what could come next.
I'm Josh Hicks, and I approve this message. My mom has pre-existing conditions, and before the Affordable Care Act, she couldn't get insurance. So when I hear Andy Barr say he's going to enthusiastically vote to take away folks' health care, that's personal to me. There's 400,000 people right here who would lose their health care coverage. And we don't need some government-run health program, but we do need to protect folks with pre-existing conditions and offer a public insurance option. The government and corporations have enough politicians. The people need someone fighting for them.
Our lives are changing, and we are meeting the challenges. Social distancing, working, and teaching from home.
But some things don't change. The number one cause of car wrecks is still distracted driving. And Becker Law is still your best choice if you or a loved one is injured. We've helped our clients recover more than $760 million.
Over 30 years of experience makes a difference. Don't settle for less. Better call Becker. Just dial 3s.
Mitch McConnell isn't like Kentucky bourbon. His ideas don't get better with age. Like McConnell's solution for Kentucky's struggling economy.
Mitch McConnell facing backlash now after saying that he favors allowing states to declare bankruptcy.
McConnell's radical idea would turn over control of Kentucky to an unelected federal judge who could order anything from raising your taxes and increasing tolls to slashing funding for schools and police. Don't let McConnell put Kentucky over a Washington barrel. Ditch Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
We had some major problems with HVAC. So we started asking around who would be somebody really good to help us. Comfort Master has incredibly professional, well-trained, experienced technicians. Call Comfort Master.
Everyone loves a great comeback story. The story of an underdog. Someone who was down and out, getting kicked around, on the brink of giving up hope, until they picked themselves up and turned it around. Here in Kentucky, we're full of underdogs. People who have overcome the odds, put their past behind them, and are ready to show the world what they're meant to be. To learn how you can write your comeback story, go to KentuckyComeback.com.
We are still here to help you, not to upsell you or overcharge you, but to give you what you need. And during these times, we're going to be using the best practices to keep us all safe. We don't want you to be our customer one time. We want to build a partnership for life. So next time you're in need, give us a call over here at Hub Mechanical.
Before you see it anywhere else, you'll see it on WKYT's Twitter.
Fans will not be able to watch the Breeders' Cup in person this year. In a few minutes, what that blow means to tourism in Lexington, it'll be a hit. And she's been by the governor's side through a run as Attorney General and now as governor during the biggest pandemic in a century. Amber talks about her conversation with Kentucky's First Lady, Brittany Bashir. That's coming up as well. .32 here. Welcome back to Breaking Down the News on the CW Lexington. Thanks for staying local with us. We appreciate it. It's been a beautiful day out there so far, but could we see a cool down? Yeah, Chris, you've got some cooler weather, don't you?
Oh, it already is, my man. 70s today, beautiful. And tonight, you know what, Sam? Upper 40s.
Whoa.
May come your way tomorrow morning. Sweatshirt weather?
Yes.
Yeah, we're in that time period, aren't we? Take a look at what's going on right now. Look at that hazy view on the western sky, the sunset. And you know what we're looking at here is just a little bit of smoke from those western fires into the upper levels of the atmosphere. That's why you're seeing that sun looking like that at the moment. 72, winds out of the northeast at 8 miles an hour. Big area of high pressure. That high is flexing a little muscle. Something else flexing some muscle, that is our Hurricane Sally. Down in the Gulf of Mexico, Sam, this is a Category 2 hurricane. It may become a Category 3. We'll talk about this when I come back and break down the 7-day forecast for you in about 10 minutes.
Thank you, Chris. No fans at Keeneland for this year's Breeders' Cup. Tens of thousands of visitors were expected to stay at hotels and eat at restaurants in our region. That's not going to happen. Grayson Passmore shows us how some businesses may not financially recover from the losses this year.
Empty chairs, rooms that won't be slept in, and bar glasses that won't be used. This is now the norm in hotels across Lexington.
And I think we've got a few more difficult months ahead of us, and not having Breeders' Cup with fans in 2020 will just simply add to, what has become a dire need at this point, or a dire situation at this point.
President of Visit Lex, Mary Quinn Raymer, says the hospitality industry will need federal funding to recover from this year.
Just quite simply congressional relief. And so that's where our efforts are at the moment, is trying to make sure our message has been heard by those in D.C.
General Manager of Embassy Suites and President of Bluegrass Hospitality Association, Pam Avery, says hotel managers are working to keep the lights on as people already call to cancel their November reservations.
My manager cleaning rooms. We're working laundry. We're serving drinks. We're doing whatever we have to do to make sure that we continue to be viable.
First working the desk 30 years ago, Avery never thought she'd be back behind it as a general manager.
Anybody who is working is doing jobs that either they weren't hired to do or isn't anywhere near part of what they normally do.
While Raymer and Avery say they understand the Breeders' Cup decision was made to keep people safe, hotels and restaurants will still need help to try and make it through winter. In Lexington, Grayson Passmore, WKYT.
And we're joined now live by Mary Quinn Raymer. She is the president of Visit Lex. Mary Quinn, welcome.
Hi there. Thank you for having me.
How much of a bad situation are we in of perhaps restaurants or hotels or other tourism attractions closing because of this?
Well, Sam, I think we find ourselves in a really unfortunate situation. It was shocking, and the impact was significant right out of the gate with this pandemic and the impact on the hospitality industry. And we certainly find ourselves continuing to fight that same nasty truth today. We just do not have much reprieve in the way of good news in this industry in 2020. And so no doubt that the Breeders' Cup announcement hurts. I don't know that we were necessarily all that surprised, but it does take away a little bit of momentum that we had going into the fall. And we're going to be faced with some pretty ugly realities over these next few months in our industry.
Are you saying people will not have jobs, that some jobs just won't come back, at least for a while?
Well, I will tell you this much. Out of the entire industry in this country, which was 16 million strong at the beginning of March, over half of our industry has already been furloughed or permanently laid off. And I also can tell you that the excessive unemployment, 40% of that is tied directly to this industry. So I think that the threat of these jobs being, severely impacted or permanently impacted is real.
How long, if you had a crystal ball, do you think it takes once a vaccine is in place and people start to trust it for there to be a recovery in this industry we're talking about?
Well, you make an excellent point, and that is that simply having a vaccine is only the first step. There has to also be consumer confidence in that. And I think that for at least a percentage of the population, the confidence to travel is going to take some time. That being said, everything that we are looking at with respect to projections and economic forecasting for our industry for the future has us on a very slow and long road to recovery. So I think that while we'll definitely see some activities resume and pick back up with a vaccine for this virus, I think that in terms of our industry getting back to pre-pandemic levels, we are looking at easily into the fourth quarter of 2024, perhaps early 25.
Real quickly before we go, one example of what Visit Lex can do in the months and year to come to try to turn this around and help.
Well, as you know, we've got a major convention center that we're constructing right now. And so our team is busy working on leads for 2022 and beyond. We want to make sure that when that brand new convention center is open, that we have a fantastic roster of events coming to town. I think we can also continue to advocate for our industry at the congressional level. This industry still needs relief, and Visit Lex is not going to sleep until we know that our leaders in D.C. have heard that message.
Mary Quinn Raymer with Visit Lex, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you, Mary Quinn, and good luck.
Thanks, Sam.
Okay, let's break down the fight against COVID-19 in Kentucky. If you're just joining us or you haven't seen the news here today, the governor's office reported 342 new cases, 5 new deaths today. Normally on Mondays, if you followed this, the number of positive cases are usually low. But that does bring the total cases to more than 52,000 in Kentucky. 1,065 people have now died of COVID-19 in Kentucky. Dr. Stephen Stack, the public health commissioner, also announced some new requirements as schools prepare to welcome students back to classrooms.
Parents and guardians will now be required to report to their child's school within 24 hours if their child tests positive for COVID-19. The school will have to define the process by which they would like that reporting to occur, and we obviously defer to the local schools to work with their communities to design systems that work for their parents and guardians to report this information. Upon receipt of that information, the schools, K-12 schools, public and private, will have to report Monday through Friday, every day school is in session, the number of new students, number of new faculty and staff, also the number of quarantined students and quarantined staff.
And today, Governor Beshear announced the donation, some positive news, of 2 million masks from Ford. The governor visited the warehouse in Frankfort that's storing the state's supply of personal protective equipment, or PPE. The stockpile you see here, worth about $50 million. The governor says it's been emptied twice. Okay, let's take a deeper dive on today's COVID-19 report as we break down the numbers. I'll step here to the side so you can see these. Right now, 504 people are currently in the hospital right now dealing with coronavirus. That's down from the last report. So far, 4,905 people have ever been hospitalized. The number of COVID-19 patients in the ICU at 119 today. And since the beginning of the pandemic, almost 1,500 people have spent time in the ICU. Let's track September's numbers. And so we've got these from the number of months going back to March. So far, there have been about 9,000 cases in September. See right there. And 132 COVID-19 deaths have been reported so far this month in Kentucky. Next, we'll hear from Kentucky's First Lady, what she's saying about standing by her husband as he leads the state through this pandemic.
Amy McGrath and the radical left mobs opposed President Trump from the morning after his election.
And that morning I woke up like somebody had sucker punched me. The only feeling I can describe that's any close to it was the feeling I had after 9/11.
McGrath compared President Trump's election to 9/11, the worst terrorist attack in American history. Extreme Amy McGrath, the wrong path for Kentucky.
I'm Mitch McConnell, and I approve this message. We all want to live healthier lives. It's only natural. Your body is a product of nature. Why would you nurture it with anything else? Just like your body, our vitamins, minerals, and herbs are grown from nature. And with all our products and advice, we have something for everything under the sun. We'll make sure you get everything you need, nothing you don't. All from nature herself. Robert's Health Foods, 1020 Industry Road, Lexington. You'll want to come see us. It's only natural.
Play the Kentucky Lottery's Gold Rush Scratch-Offs with more than $217 million in total prize money. Yeah, keep going. Oh. Your Eureka moment just might be a scratch or two away.
There's a new way to eat fresh at Subway restaurants.
It's bold, tasty, and round. Introducing new protein bowls, like the Sweet Onion Chicken Teriyaki Bowl, packed with protein and loaded with flavor. New protein bowls, only at Subway.
Shop Carpet One's store-wide anniversary sale celebrating 45 years. Choose from hardwood, waterproof flooring, tile, area rugs, and of course carpet up to 75% off. Let our design team help you find the perfect floor. Choose from 600 area rugs with room-size rugs starting at $99. The possibilities are endless. Hurry, the sale ends Friday. Carpet One, come see us.
Amy McGrath would help Washington liberals pass a government takeover of our health care.
In my opinion, single payer is the way to go.
The McGrath plan is socialized health insurance, banning employer and union-provided coverage, costing us $32 trillion.
I am further left. I am more progressive than anybody in the state of Kentucky.
Amy McGrath, too liberal for Kentucky. Keep Kentucky Great is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Stay ahead of Kentucky weather on Facebook Live every weekday.
Welcome back. For months now, many of you have tuned in to see Governor Andy Beshear update the state on the fight against COVID-19 every day. Behind the scenes, though, is his wife, First Lady Brittany Beshear. She's been holding down the fort at home, like many parents trying to adjust to life healthy at home. Now, before COVID-19 hit, the First Lady was just beginning to adjust to life in the spotlight. She was focused, quite naturally, on the children of the Commonwealth, but then, well, life really changed, and she has spent the last several months making sure her children are healthy and adjusting to life in the governor's mansion. She says if there's really any good to come from COVID-19, it has meant more time with her family.
It's important, I think, as a family that when Andy gets home, not only does he get to turn it off for a little bit, but the kids just get to have dad home. And so there are a lot of board games and a lot of games of charades.
Amber talked to the First Lady about life in the mansion and how proud she is of her husband these past several months. Amber Philpott joins us now. Amber, welcome to the debut of the 7 to 8 p.m. on the CW. Glad to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So this is actually the second time you have interviewed the First Lady. You never got a chance to air the first one?
Yeah, I sat down with her one-on-one in person at the state capitol on February 27th. The very next week on that Friday, COVID-19 hit. So a lot of the things that we talked about, Sam, in that first interview were what you might think about. What are you going to do as First Lady? How is the transition been? What's it like being in the public eye? But then it just didn't feel right once COVID-19 hit to air that particular interview. So we waited all of these months and we did it again. And of course, Sam, as you might imagine, the conversation was very different this time around.
Oh, I know. I can't imagine the whirlwind that they have been through from inauguration to what happened in March. What's her take on all of this?
You know, very pointedly, she said, my very first goal in all of this was to make sure that my children, Will and Lila, are safe, they're healthy. That was the first thing, right? And then I think, too, she is like a lot of other moms and a lot of other families. You know, things change very quickly, so you have to kind of go on the fly, as she said. And we just had to figure out what was next for our family, like a lot of Kentucky families have had to do.
So it sounds like one of the positives she takes out of this experience is more time for the family, right?
Yeah, think about this, Sam. So, you know, Governor Beshear had been the Attorney General, right? Then he ran for governor. There was a lot of time that he wasn't home as a dad just because of the duty of his job and then obviously campaigning. So she said if the one thing has been great out of all of this is healthy at home has led to more family time. They've done a lot of time together, games. She said charades in the mansion are a really big deal and a lot of fun.
Well, going forward, what kind of mission does she have once we get out of this situation with coronavirus?
Brittany Beshear is a mom first, so she knows that she wants children to be one of the things that she's focused on when we come out of quarantine. She doesn't know what that's going to look like just yet, but Sam, you can kind of get a feel for it. You know, she recently came out and did the mask campaign for children, so that was her way of kind of putting her foot forward and trying to do something for Kentuckians right now. And check her out on social media. She joined social media during quarantine, so she's trying to put some positivity out in the world right now.
Amber Philpott, thank you.
You bet.
And remember, you can watch Amber's full story right now on WKYT.com with the First Lady and inside the WKYT News app. Mr. Chris Bailey's next with your 7-day breakdown. And tonight on WKYT News at 11, a lot of education news to cover. New guidelines from the state and the Fayette County School Board meeting while parents protest outside central office.
My name's Tom. I've been a homeowner for 19 years, and I've also been with First American for 19 years.
I worked really hard to get to this place, so it's very important that I feel protected.
I am not a handy person. My wife would probably be the first one to agree.
Having one little thing go awry in our life is devastating.
I won't mess with plumbing, and I won't mess with electrical. A home warranty is for the everyday things that go wrong in the house. We have the Premier plan, which covers pretty much everything.
My water heater broke recently.
The first time I'm leaving my son without me here, and now they don't have hot water. Having First American is like having a handyman at my beck and call. The hot water was up and running within 24 hours.
In the middle of the summer, the AC went out. I went on the website, it took me 30 seconds to fill out a form. The next day they came out.
I've easily saved $500 to $1,000 a year.
It's well worth the cost.
Everyday life depends on it.
First American Home Warranty. Call 800-259-9114 for a free quote.
Do you suffer with knee pain due to arthritis? Do you have Medicare or private insurance? Then the Arthritis and Knee Pain Center of Lexington has great news for you.
We're specialists in the treatment of knee and joint pain with state-of-the-art, non-surgical treatments designed to replace the cushioning in your joints.
It hurt real bad walking around and trying to do things.
But after you get it, you feel a little bit more confident and you don't have the pain.
These aren't traditional joint injections. They are precisely targeted, FDA-approved treatments that place a pain-relieving, lubricating gel directly into the joint, providing comfort, pain relief, and improved joint mobility. Even better, Medicare and most major private insurance cover this procedure.
It's enabled me to go years without knee replacement.
Call now to schedule your risk-free screening. There's no obligation. Get the pain relief you deserve now.
Call 1-833-278-1574 or visit arthritis-kneepain.com.
Love getting prices that are lower than low on food that's fresher than fresh? With the Kroger app, you can get personalized coupons on top of weekly sales and rewards like fuel points, all for prices that are low. Day low. So go ahead, get lower than low. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Stay connected with WKYT on Instagram.
You want crisp weather, fall-like weather? My friend Chris Bailey's got it for you. Look at this.
You know what, Sam? This is going to be a little different weather forecast too, all right?
I'm going to step out of the way and let you take over.
You know what's always at the end of a weathercast? The 7-day, right? No, not in this one. We start with the 7-day, and let me show you why, because we're going to take you through each day and show you why the 7-day is why the 7-day is. Here's tomorrow. Look at this. Beautiful, a little crisp in the morning. 70s coming up into the afternoon. That's your Tuesday forecast. Overall, that is an absolutely spectacular pattern that we are seeing. Now, as we go toward the middle of the week, we got a tropical system down in the Gulf of Mexico. That's a hurricane. That is Sally. Is that going to bring any rain to Kentucky? Well, there's a small chance for a shower or thunderstorm on Wednesday. But you see this cold front dropping in from the northwest. That would be as we go into later Monday and Tuesday, or Thursday, I should say, later Wednesday and Thursday, he says. With that chill comes in behind it, what that does is that pushes our tropical system all the way to the south, so it keeps the moisture away from where we are outside of an isolated shower or thunderstorm. Then by the time we get into the day on Thursday, we may see some gusty winds as our front makes its way to the area. Look at some of those gusts. This is our timeline, 11 o'clock on Thursday evening. Gusts around 30 miles an hour, and we may have those gusts that are greater than 30 miles an hour right on into. Speaking of, we get to your Friday. You ready for the weekend?
Yes.
You're ready for some cool air? It's Friday night football action, and look at what is coming our way. We've got this big blast of autumnal chill. I like to use autumnal when it's talking about chill just because it's a big fancy word. It makes me sound smarter than I really am, Sam. But overall, as we go into your weekend, look at those temperatures. They're talking about lows in the 40s, highs around 70. How much rain are we talking about over the next week? Sam, for the next 7 days, what you see here is fairly puny. That's not a lot of rain.
Yeah.
We've got maybe up to 1/10 of an inch showing up over the next 7 days. That, my man, is why the 7-day is how the 7-day is.
Yeah.
Huh?
Now, I totally lost track of Hurricane Sally. How big a deal is that?
Sally, Gulf of Mexico. Yeah. Here you go. Winds, it's a Category 2, sustained at 100 miles an hour. The forecast track on this has been edging slightly east over the past 24 hours or so. Right now, we're talking about what may become a strong Cat 2 or even borderline Category 3. Sam, this is going to go between Biloxi and Mobile, and it's always on the right side of a hurricane where you get the worst of the weather. Look where Mobile Bay is, on that right side. So you may have a tremendous storm surge coming in to parts of eastern Mississippi and southwestern sections of Alabama.
Oh, those poor people.
Yeah, they're going to get hit hard over the next few days.
Thank you, sir.
You bet.
Ahead tonight here on the CW Lexington, it's an hour of Whose Line Is It Anyway, followed by Penn and Teller Foolish. And let's check WKYT, the neighborhood in Young Sheldon at 8 and 8:30, Love Island at 9, Bull at 10, and your news at 11. Next, I'll be back with my final thought.
Hughes & Coleman is committed to helping you get all the money you deserve when you get injured because someone else was reckless, so you don't have to fight with the insurance company.
Let us do it for you. Call Hughes & Coleman.
800-800-4600.
If you're eligible for Medicare, you can get more with a WellCare Medicare Advantage plan. We provide more than original Medicare. More plans, more options, more choices of doctors and hospitals. All at an affordable price. We offer plans with zero or low premiums and copays. Get more coverage with extra benefits like dental, vision, hearing, prescription drugs with free home delivery, plus free transportation to your doctor or pharmacy, and free over-the-counter items like vitamins, toothpaste, pain relievers, and much more. Plus, WellCare also gives more access to a large network of pharmacies and doctors. For more than 30 years, we focused on connecting members to the care and support you deserve. Get more from Medicare with WellCare. Call now. We can answer your questions and help you enroll over the phone. Call 1-866-561-9677.
We all want to live healthier lives. It's only natural. Your body is a product of nature. Why would you nurture it with anything else? Just like your body, our vitamins, minerals, and herbs are grown from nature. And with all our products and advice, we have something for everything under the sun. We'll make sure you get everything you need, nothing you don't. All from nature herself. Robert's Health Foods, 1020 Industry Road, Lexington. You'll want to come see us. It's only natural.
At Queener Law, we only handle car wreck cases. Don't get just any lawyer. Get a car wreck lawyer. And remember, at Queener Law, the advice and consultation are always free. Visit us at queenerlaw.com.
When you're in a car wreck, you know who to call.
Call Hughes & Coleman.
800-800-4600.
Studies show people who call a lawyer on average get up to 3 times more money.
That's a lot of shakes.
Hughes & Coleman. 800-800-4600.
Get the first alert with the WKYT First Alert Weather app.
Thank you for joining us on our hour-long breakdown. Our goal is to go deeper on topics that are important to you. It's a work in progress, and we welcome your ideas and suggestions. We're going to wrap up each hour with my final thought. Not so much commentary, but my observations on the day or week, more personal perhaps, more reflective. In my 43 years of broadcasting, this is not something I take lightly. I respect and appreciate this opportunity, even if it's for 1 minute. So tonight, I leave you with 2 pictures that remind me that this is a resilient country, no matter how imperfect. Driving by R.J. Corman's headquarters last night in Nicholasville reminded me of the moment that Rick Corman and I volunteered to help retire the American flag at the U.S. Cemetery in Normandy, France. A sacred ground where thousands and thousands of American soldiers are buried after storming the beaches on D-Day. You know, despite political division, racial injustice, and a pandemic, this country lives on. And certainly, the sacrifices from past wars and conflicts should never be forgotten. It's a moment I'll never forget, and I felt very proud at that moment with Rick to be a citizen of the United States. That is tonight's final thought. Thank you for joining us tonight. For Chris Bailey, Dave Baker, The Buzz, and the entire WKYT News and production team, make it a great night. Tomorrow brings new opportunities and new choices. Have a good night.
Do you suffer with knee pain due to arthritis? Do you have Medicare or private insurance? Then the Arthritis and Knee Pain Center of Lexington has great news for you.
We're specialists in the treatment of knee and joint pain with state-of-the-art, non-surgical treatments designed to replace the cushioning in your joints.
It hurt real bad walking around and trying to do things.
But after you get it, you feel a little bit more confident and you don't have the pain.
These aren't traditional joint injections. They are precisely targeted, FDA-approved treatments that place a pain-relieving lubricating gel directly into the joint, providing comfort, pain relief, and improved joint mobility. Even better, Medicare and most major private insurance cover this procedure.
It's enabled me to go years without knee replacement.
Call now to schedule your risk-free screening. There's no obligation. Get the pain relief you deserve now.
781-574 or visit arthritis.kneepain.com.
There's nothing like the freedom of the open road and the bond bikers share here in Kentucky. But motorcycle wrecks can result in very serious injuries like a TBI and broken neck.
At Isaacs & Isaacs, we are the attorneys for bikers. We know bikers because many of us are bikers.
So we take motorcycle wrecks personally.
These are just a few of the motorcycle wreck settlements we've got in our climb. And our team will fight to get you every dollar you deserve. One call, that's all.
Ford SUVs are the highest in brand loyalty, so we built a whole season just to celebrate. It's SUV season at your local Ford store. From the Expedition, with best-in-class towing and available seating for up to 8, to the redesigned Explorer, America's best-selling SUV of all time, to the sleek and stylish Edge, you won't want to miss out. Now during SUV season, get $4,000 cash back, plus $1,000 in trade assist on a 2020 Ford Explorer.
Shop Carpet One's store-wide anniversary sale, celebrating 45 years. Choose from hardwood, waterproof flooring, tile, area rugs, and of course carpet up to 75% off. Let our design team help you find the perfect floor. Choose from 600 area rugs with room-size rugs starting at $99. The possibilities are endless. Hurry, the sale ends Friday. Carpet One, come see us.